With so much going on in a classroom, it's no wonder that important things are overlooked. ClasStars makes it really simple to record critical attendance, behavior, and academic information in less than 1 second. Because it's so quick and simple, you can do it in real time, making it even more accurate. Get ready to see one of the most powerful teacher tools in the world. Of course, different teachers have different styles, so be sure to stay true to yourself. ClasStars is designed to adapt to your style of teaching. As long as you use it consistently, you'll find that you'll be budgeting your attention among your students more effectively. You'll also be encouraging all of your students, especially the ones who need it the most, more consistently. Let's jump in. Like every story, every class has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Before you start class, tap on the tile to select the class that you want to see. Here, you'll see all of the students that are in this class. You can arrange them according to the way they sit in class by sliding the menu bar all the way over and tapping on Arrange Layout. You can add rows and columns by tapping on the plus on any side. Then tap the student and tap the space you want to put them. You can set up your class in any shape or form. Don't worry about adding too many columns or rows. All of the outside columns and rows will be taken away when you're done. When your class is set up right, tap End Arrange and save. If you tap Cancel, you'll leave Arrange mode, but your changes will be discarded. This feature is also easily accessible during class, so you can easily move kids around anytime. I'll show you how to do it once we get into class. Now let's begin. To start a class, tap on the apple. The default name of the class will be the date and time at the start of the session, but you can call it whatever you want by tapping here and entering the name. You can also change the name of the class after class is over from the Details dashboard, and I'll show you how to do that in another video. If you're using the scheduler, the scheduled end time for the class will show here. You can adjust the end time by tapping here. Otherwise, we'll give you an hour, or you can check off No End Time. There's a countdown clock in the session screen to show you when you're supposed to end, to help you stay on schedule. But don't worry, ClasStars doesn't make any noise, so your class won't be interrupted. I'll explain later. Tap Start Session. The first thing that you do is take attendance. You know you're in attendance mode because the ribbon at the bottom is light blue. Everyone is assumed to be here. Just tap on those who aren't. Their picture will fade and you'll get a little A to indicate that they're absent. If a student walks in late while you're taking attendance, tap again and they'll be marked late. If you tap a third time, they're back to being marked present. So simple and intuitive. When you're done, tap End Attendance. Now you have the choice to check homework, go to the session screen, or continue taking attendance. Let's check homework. You know you're in homework mode because the ribbon is dark blue. Everyone starts unchecked. Tap a student to toggle between done, partially done, not done, or unknown. The Mark All Done button does just that, except for the absent students, and then you can adjust the few kids who need to be adjusted. When you're finished checking homework, tap End Homework. How simple is that? The truth is, if this were all that the app could do, it would be a really cool and efficient app. The quickest, simplest, and most intuitive way to take attendance and check homework. But check this out. Now you're in session mode. This is the middle, and where most of the action happens. What do you do when someone comes in late? I'll show you that in a minute. First, let me show you how simple it is to mark a misbehavior. Behavior management is one of the most challenging aspects of teaching, but keeping good behavior records is cumbersome and disrupts the flow of the class. At the very least, a good behavior record should tell you how many times a student presented an undesirable behavior over a period of time. Simply swipe down on any student to record undesirable behavior, and ClasStars will keep track of the time that it happened. You can then rate the intensity or level of disruption of the misbehavior on a 5-point scale. Effective behavior monitoring looks for changes in frequency and intensity of dysfunctional behavior. So instead of fidgeting with papers, pens, clips, and whatever else you use for marking behavior, a quick swipe and tap gives you an accurate and effective record that can be used to create behavior plans and monitor improvement. Just wait until you see the charts and dashboards. But that's not all. Tap this button in the bottom corner to toggle from single swipe mode to full function mode. Now when you swipe down on a student, you can specify the misbehavior in greater detail. Our menu contains the basic universal undesirable behaviors. It is so simple to swipe and tap, and you get a highly detailed comprehensive record of every student's behavior. You can undo the last record on the student by tapping the undo button at the top. We're just getting warmed up. Here is what many teachers think is the most incredible part of ClasStars. Every kid needs positive feedback. They need the encouragement. They need you to believe in them. Teachers know this. We know this intuitively. The problem is it's just impossible to keep track. Not anymore. When you give a student positive feedback, you swipe up. We have the same single swipe or full function, and in the settings, you can customize if you want single swipe for one and full function for the other. I'll show you more about that when we go through the settings. When you swipe up on a student, you get a green notch on this meter. This shows the number of positive feedbacks the student has gotten in the last 2 days. The idea is that you can see in real time which students you haven't gotten to, and prioritize them for positive feedback. After 7 notches, we'll still keep track, but the meter is full at 7. It's important to note that this is not a point system. Children don't earn upswipes. They are entitled to them. Every child should receive positive feedback every day, and if for some reason a child was missed, she deserves to be prioritized the next day. You can also rate the feedback on a 5-point scale. Now check this out. The meter tells you which students you've encouraged and which ones you haven't yet. But we all know that some kids need more encouragement than others. How do we know which kids need more? You may have noticed the border colors. They reflect the ratio of positive to negative events recorded. So when a student has more negative events than positive, the border will be red. This is not to penalize the child. It is a reminder for you to catch that child being good. As you give positive feedback, the border color will change to orange, yellow, blue, and green. Studies show that when people get more negative feedback than positive feedback, they shut down and don't respond well. You know this from your own experience. The border color changes at various ratios so you know where everyone is holding. You can prioritize your attention and encouragement to the students who need it the most, based on frequency and ratio. We'll talk more about that in another video. I told you you've never seen anything like it. By the way, if someone comes in late, double tap on their picture and you can mark them late. Or if you made a mistake, you can mark not absent. If you forgot to mark someone absent in attendance mode, you can tap once on the student and mark her absent by tapping the A in the bottom menu. Someone marked late will have an L until you record another event on that student. Then the L will fade after 5 seconds. You can mark an absent or late student excused by tapping once and marking them excused. They still came late, but we've noted that they're excused. We all know how important attendance is. If you don't show up, it's game over. Yet, how many kids do show and are marked present, only to then find a way to leave, whether it's to see the nurse, use the restroom, get a drink, whatever. They end up missing significant class time. The problem is that you've got so much to do that these kids keep pushing the envelope. And if they're smart, which they are, they can do it without even getting noticed. Mark this date in your calendar as the day this is over. When a student leaves the room, swipe to the right and mark them out. Of course, we have single swipe and full function for this too. Now watch this. While the child is out, you can single tap the student and see exactly how long the child has been out. When they return, simply double tap to mark them back. Finally, you have all the information at your fingertips. So for a quick review, take attendance, check homework, swipe up for positive feedback, down for undesirable behavior, right for real-time attendance, and a double tap always brings the student back into class. Identify students who need your attention the most based on equity and ratios. And we're not even done yet. School is all about learning, and ClasStars has the simplest formative assessment tool. Swipe to the left to activate the academic wheel. This means you've engaged this child academically. The options are incorrect, on track, other, basic, and advanced. There is no single swipe mode for this feature, so be sure to get comfortable with ClasStars before you start with this. When a positive academic engagement is recorded, you'll see a yellow notch in the meter. This way you can see which students you've engaged with a swipe up, which are non-academic engagements, and which are academic engagements. Positive academic engagements are more powerful, but the students need to answer correctly, so the weaker students might struggle with that. Now you know which students have been engaged academically. Select Quick Quiz from the menu, which will randomly select a student for you to ask a question. It isn't completely random. It actually leans towards those who have not been engaged as much, to bring everyone out of the shadows. It'll jump around the room until all of the students are engaged, but you can pause or stop it at any time. You can rearrange the class layout by selecting Arrange Layout from the menu. And it works just like we showed before. To summarize, take attendance, check homework, swipe up for positive feedback, down for negative feedback, right for real-time attendance, left for academic engagement. Have a clearer picture of all of the important things in the classroom in real time with just a swipe and a tap. Now we've come to the end. When the class is over, tap the X to close the class and come back to the dashboard page. If you have more than one class, you can switch directly to another class by tapping Switch to Class and selecting the next class. Wow, I told you it's going to be incredible. Watch this video as many times as you need to get the hang of it. You can also email us at info@classstars.com or join our Facebook community. See you in the next video.